Good morning, good Monday morning. How are you? I know you are bubbling up with joy on the second day of the year, moving baby into a first, maybe baby's first year of birth, or just enjoying the pleasure of having a child to raise. Now, this morning, I celebrate my son's birthday. Happy birthday, Cordell. And I want to think about strongly about your baby and help you walk through the experience of making your baby mobile. So, movement, that's what we are talking about. Movement in baby. Baby is probably at 6 months old, 7 months old, sitting up and moving around to reach for objects in his or her environment and just having a ball exploring where he or she lives. So today I want to talk with you about baby jumpers and walkers. When we first started our baby talk, we started talking about the importance of tummy time. Putting your baby on the stomach so he or she can begin to explore and build that core area, the center of the body, because it's the center from which everything happens. And by being on the tummy, it helps the child develop the muscles to raise the head, to move the arm forward, to lift the legs, etc., etc. And so, I know some of you are excited about putting your babies in jumpers and in walkers. Let's see what the literature says about that. And let's see how we can work together to help you get the best for your baby. So, jolly jumpers, you know what jolly jumpers are. Those little like walkers. They also can be considered walkers because your baby can move around in them. The jolly jumpers are those little equipment with the strings that keep your baby up and going and exploring. And for a lot of you or your children, your child gets into that jumper and it's a free time for you, and you're able to do other things, and your child is excited and smiling and even giggling with the freedom to move around. But jumpers were created, about 60 years ago, and there's always been a question out there about the safety and when to really use a jumper. I'm sharing information this morning that comes from the Life by Design Center. And I want to share that based on, using the swaddling techniques, jumpers are now being promoted as a baby's exerciser. And a lot of stores are distributing them. Now, this is what the Life by Design Center says, that this design kind of works as a godsend, like I mentioned earlier, to moms and dads, to give you a free time to do what you want to do. But we don't quite know all that baby needs. So let's just jump into it and talk about, while this device can provide hours of bouncing around and giggling, it comes with a price. And that is that it impacts the child's nervous system and the skeleton, and so that this may cause significant issues later in the child's life. Let's look from a neurological perspective. And breaking it down in layman's terms, when I say neurological, I mean in terms of the nervous system. The order in which an infant progresses through motor skills is very, very important. And each skill serves as a precursor for the next. So it's like a building block. You're building on each development. and progressing. So the child, you want to see that that child is progressing from rolling to sitting to crawling to standing and then to walking. All right? So you've noticed your child is rolling over in the crib and you're like, yay, excited, one milestone achieved. And then you're able to prop your child up and you're taking these beautiful pictures and posting them everywhere. But next you want your child to move into crawling. And so here is where we have to think carefully about putting your child in that bouncer, so that if you put the child in the bouncer and the child spends all their time there and you take away that crawling piece and the standing piece independent of the bouncer, you are actually disrupting that neurological development that should be taking place in your child. And so this typical pattern that infants undergo when progressing through mobility or locomotive development is very, very important to the muscles and the joints in terms of strengthening them for standing and walking. Now, the child will reach each phase of development as their system allows. But by putting your child in a jolly jumper or an exerciser, you are effectively encouraging your child to skip. You are encouraging your child to skip developmental milestones, and this can result in delays. So I want you moms and dads to think hard about where your child is and how long you're putting your child in those jumpers and what the impact is having on them. Your child may not progress to where he learns to crawl and to stand and to walk. And there's a lot of literature out there that talks about how crawling and reading are connected. So you need to consider what you're doing if you have your child in a jumper. You may be surprised also to know that in the early phases of life, the spine looks very curved like a cat's spine. But as you grow into, development, it changes into an S, and then it has that curve where your child is in the first 3 months of life, starts to lift his head and gain control. And like I said earlier, where does that happen? That happens when you have your child on the floor doing tummy time. Now, there's also the issue of or the or the idea of the pelvis development, and if that pelvis is not developed appropriately, what impact it can have on the child. When you position your child in a sling, like in the Jolly Jumper, it does not support the thighs and the hips at all, and it really recreates the exact position that can contribute to the development of various conditions in your child. You need, again, moms and dads, to be aware of what you're introducing to your child. And this information, again, comes from Life by Design, the Life by Design Center, Dr. Jamie Richards, and there is a whole lot more out there that talks to this issue that we are sharing this morning. I am going to come back to you tomorrow and talk a little more about, again, going back to tummy time and the connection between crawling and reading and other motor developments. And I want you to think seriously about what you're putting your child, exposing your child to. I know there's a lot of excitement when your child is able to bounce around and he or she is laughing and also moving. But remember, milestones should be, when it comes to motor milestones, they should take a hierarchy in terms of development. block upon block. You can't put a block up there when there's no foundation down below. So you need to give your child that opportunity to build the foundation, build those remedial skills so that he or she can get up to where he is becoming independent and more capable of doing the things that he was created to do. This is Dr. Yonnette saying to you this morning, take care of yourself as you start a new year. Give yourself a chance to be the best you with your skincare routine, with your whatever routine that you need to add to your life to make you the best you. And also give your child the best opportunity to succeed by being knowledgeable about what you expose your child to and what you put in front of your child to, or what tools you use with your child to help your child develop motor milestones. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.